Hi and welcome along to AFTV News. We are going live today with a special North London Derby special, should I say. Of course, the big game tomorrow. Arsenal going to Tottenham Hotspur, the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first time, although there will be no fans there, but we're going to be doing our watch along to that. Make sure you check it out. But we want to get your guys' views and opinions on how you think the game's going to go. And I've been joined by a good friend of mine. Well, he's normally a good friend of mine, right? Not today, not tomorrow. And depending on what happens tomorrow, I don't know what we'll be like on Monday either, right? But Tobi, welcome along. Tobi, of course, massive Tottenham fan. You know, Tobi does his channel. He does his podcasts and stuff like that. Brilliant stuff for Tottenham. He's joined us to discuss the North London Derby, and of course we want to get your guys' comments in on the North London Derby as well. How you guys are feeling, who's going to win it, who's going to come out on top. Tobi, how you feeling, man? You feeling confident?
No, I'm not feeling confident at all. This is probably the derby, the first derby in about probably 6 or 7 years where I've not felt confident at all. Normally, I can always sort of bank on our team delivering or say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This one, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And if I had to put money on it, it wouldn't be on us to win. So I'm not confident at all.
Of course, there's going to be no fans there. And normally, listen, I've been down to your ground so many times for these games. It's a very, very hostile atmosphere. All your fans are, no matter what situation you're all pumped up for it. You're all ready for it. But there's going to be no fans. Is that going to make a big difference?
I think so for us, because for whatever reason, these players are struggling for some sort of motivation. I don't know why. I don't know whether what the manager is saying to them. I don't know what their headspace is like currently. But I feel like those players that I've watched against Everton and Bournemouth, they need that extra push, and I think not having the fans there in a derby as well is a big blow. It's definitely a big blow.
Yeah, it might be because the funny thing is that I saw a derby the other day. It was the Merseyside derby, and it was flat. It was flat. It was unbelievably flat there with no fans. But I'm just thinking that I get the feeling that this one won't be as flat as that. You know, both teams, even though really and truly, none of us have got a chance of that top 4 or 5. That's gone for both of us, are a miracle.
Yeah.
But both teams are playing for pride. And Mourinho's already sort of stoked it up, hasn't he? When the other day he was complaining about the tweet that Arsenal put out where they said about, you know, sort of mocking Spurs a bit about how to win at Sheffield United. How difficult it was to win there. Yeah.
So I think with that one, with Jose Mourinho, I think obviously you know him. He's the king at playing mind games, and he's not one who wants to sort of be one-upped by someone else as well. So obviously, if he has any opportunity to dig out Arsenal, he's going to dig out Arsenal. And I also think that he's got this ridiculous strong record against Arsenal. I think you lot have only beaten them once in time in England as well. So of course he's going to bite back, and he's going to add he's going to stoke up the fire as well, just to sort of get some fire in some of our players' bellies, to be honest, because that's what he needs to do. So I have no issue with that, to be honest.
I've got a Spurs fan on there. He says, I'm a Spurs fan. He says, come on, his thing called Come On You Spurs. He says, I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm already Jose out. Players' mentality is dead, not confident for tomorrow. I'm still saying 1-1. He's saying now there's a lot of talk that the fans are going to fly over, not a Jose out, but like Levy out. Tell us what's going on with all this?
Like, what's crazy is we look at that stuff as something that you lot do. We look at that. That's your type. Those are your type of tactics. But I think what you're seeing now is a lot of frustration finally reaching the surface with a lot of Spurs fans as well. Me personally, I would choose a different way as opposed to flying a plane across the stadium during the match. But at the same time, I can't begrudge these people who are doing that, because ultimately they need to be heard. For years and years, a lot of people have been talking about how Daniel Levy sometimes he's mismanaged the club and he's always held back when it just takes a little tiny bit extra to reap such a massive. So he's neglected those side of things as well. So for me personally, I'm indifferent on the issue. I have no issue with that plane flying across. I would do it better, but I have no issue with it.
Yeah,
I think a message needs to be sent to the people higher up at Spurs that this isn't acceptable.
All right. Well, listen. Den DBG says, from a Tottenham fan, Arsenal 1-0, poor performances. On paper, really good attack, on par with Liverpool, but the reality is shocking. I don't know why. Talking about what you were just saying there, I mean, listen, we've been through that. How many times over the past 10 years, Arsenal have been on the brink, and then we're like, yeah, just go out there and buy a defensive midfielder, buy a defender, and we don't do it. And it's the stadium. And I think I'm almost sure that when last time you came on, I said this to you, I go, when you've got a new stadium and you're doing it in the right way, this self-sufficient way, it's going to be a struggle. And I was down by your ground yesterday. We were filming some content outside there. And I'm looking at the place and I'm like, look at this huge place. Obviously, really nice stadium, £1 billion spent on it. They were expecting income from American football, from concerts in the summer. To be fair, the way in which he planned it, Levy, very smart to really maximize the income.
It's a cash cow.
Nothing now because of the coronavirus, and maybe even going into next season, a similar situation where there's going to be nothing as well coming in from that, just TV money. You ain't going to be doing a lot of spending this summer, are you? I mean, it's
a weird fit. It's like you're hearing conflicting reports, because me personally, I'm just using my brain. I mean, Daniel Levy tried to it was only a few months ago that he tried to sign Spurs up to the furlough scheme and ensure that some of the staff, some of the lower level staff utilize the government scheme. So that tells you that he's trying to cut costs wherever. But yeah, I'm seeing reports that were in for the likes of Højbjerg, Aarons. I'm seeing Mourinho, who's come out. I think he's come out multiple times this week, and he said that there is a desire to actually get in new players in the summer. Like he needs new players, he needs X, Y, and Z, and he believes that there will be new signings in the summer. So I don't know what's going to happen. Me personally, though, I would expect that if any new players are coming in, like we discussed off it, it's going to be dependent on which players are leaving. It's not going to be a case of you're not going to see us going out and splashing 63 million on one player like we did last summer for Ndombele. You're not going to see us go out and splash 50 odd million on Lo Celso, 50 odd million like we did on Lo Celso over the course of both those windows put together. Whatever we see come in, it's going to be as a result of someone going out of the club, in my opinion.
And this guy says, Rick Vick says, Spurs have to be patient. Mourinho is there for winning trophies. I know you weren't a big fan of Mourinho coming in to begin with.
What have we got to be patient for? Why do we need to be patient? I get it. If I'm looking at the situation, I get that. If I'm looking at the situation in black and white, he's taken over mid-season. He's inherited a flailing defense. He's inherited no defensive midfielder, and he's picked us up from 14. So I'm not blaming him for where we are right now. I don't think that's all down to him. I think that's a combination of him, the players, and the man and the chairman. But what I don't understand is I already know what type of manager he is. Most people who criticize Jose Mourinho, they know what type of manager he is. What we've done is we've sacrificed a manager who actually took us to the heights where we can attract a manager like Jose Mourinho. We've sacked him and we've brought in a dinosaur who by all accounts, he's going backwards. And I think right now he's living off his CV, because when you watch us play at Spurs, there's no distinct style. There's no patterns of attack. He's meant to make us defensively rigid, but yet teams find it so easy to cut through us. What does he actually bring to our team right now? So for me personally, look at that Bournemouth game, for example. Everyone tells me, oh yeah, Mourinho, it's not his squad. It's not his squad. I'm sorry, but if you can't get a shot on target against Bournemouth, managing the likes of Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, Giovanni Lo Celso, Tanguy Ndombele, Steven Bergwijn. I don't know what you're doing as a manager. What are you doing as a manager? And that's why I feel like it's not going to change next season when he gets some players in. It's not going to change even after. This is just who he is as a manager, and he's not the one to take us forward.
Yeah, this guy, M. Rivera, says, Tottenham fan here. At the end of last season, we were playing horrible. Not a surprise where we're at now. Poch had us at 14th. I'm praying for a draw. I may need a draw. Troops and expressions, he says. You know what? I'm just, I say with expressions yesterday, now with you, my neighbour's a Tottenham fan. He ain't confident. And I'm just keep sitting there and saying, no, I'm not buying it, man. Not having these guys, man, because they're trying to lull us into. I know with the derby, nobody wants to lose that, right? So if you talk that way, like we're going to lose, yeah. But secretly underneath it, you're thinking to yourself, nah, we'll do Arsenal. No. I don't know, man. I'm not having it from you lot. I'm not buying it, man. I think there's some sinister little plan underneath there because
man, I think
it's gonna be a tough game. I do. I think it's gonna be, even though I've got to say, in contrast to your manager, who came in much heralded, everyone was bigging him up, saying, "Oh, great appointment! Wow, Tottenham." Our guy came in, didn't really come in with that heralded in that same way. But I have to say, I've been really happy with him. Really, really pleased with him. He's come in. He's been strong with certain players that we've needed to get a grip with, like Ozil. What he's doing with Guendouzi at the moment, he's saying to him, yo, listen, buckle down and do it my way, or you won't even train with him. He's got Guendouzi training him on his own at the moment. I like that. I like the way he's got the team. He's bringing the best out of the players he's got, which doesn't sound like Mourinho's doing that with you guys, because I still look at your team and I'm like, Son, one of the best players in the league. You know, Harry Kane, obvious. You know, Ndombele, all these players, all these big name players that you've got throughout your team. I'm like, Lucas Moura, and that team should not be performing. That's still a team with a lot of ballers in there, right? And then I look at our team and I'm like, there's players in that team that a couple of months ago, every Arsenal fan would have jumped in his car and driven them to wherever they needed to go, right? Like Mustafi, who is playing like a good player now, you know what I mean? And that's what I've liked about Mikel Arteta. He's getting the best out of what he's got. He's even changed the system up. We've been playing three at the back. I get the feeling he'll still go with that system, you know, against you guys. And again, I think he's gone with that system because it gets the best out of David Luiz. That shape helps out those guys, right? So we've been defending a lot better. And I was really impressed with what we did last weekend at Wolves. Yeah. You know, going to Wolves, a really difficult place. They were on a high. They hadn't lost a game since the lockdown, and we beat them 2-0. Clean sheet, could have won by more. Yeah, against a very good team, Leicester. We should really have been outside half time. To be honest, if we'd have took our chances, that would have been a rout. Didn't do that to 10 men, but it's a draw. But even walking away from that game saying to ourselves, oh man, I'm gutted, man, because it feels like a defeat. A few months ago, we wouldn't have felt that way because Leicester miles better than us. So I'm seeing a manager under Arteta that I'm like, we're moving up that way. Then when I'm talking to you guys, you're like, with your manager, it's like you're going back. So that's the encouraging thing for me as an Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? And then even we got news this week, you know, there's the stadium contrast. You know, we've always had the problems with the stadium. You've come to play us. We're able to pay off for this stadium. You know, now it's like it's on the other foot. You guys now just at the start of paying for that stadium. We apparently have paid off for our stadium. You know, it's really weird how things. But I still think it's going to be a very, very tight game. Obviously, I think no fans being there, that's going to help us a bit. Because as I said, I always know it's a hostile place. But
yeah, your players get no leads.
There's a lot of pride at stake in that game. A lot of pride. I mean, you know, no team's going to want to go there and get beat or get, you know what I mean? So, and Mourinho as well, he's not going to want, you know, he's not going to want that anything to happen in that game as well. So, It's going to be interesting. This dude's one here from Dano. He says, you have to be patient because your team has never won anything. So relax and sit back and be glad to come sixth. Obviously, an Arsenal fan there.
It's a silly statement. It's a silly statement. And I think that statement screams a lack of education in terms of how football's going right now, because you can't keep throwing this trophies malarkey at me. And at the same time...
No, wait a minute. It's a valid thing. You ain't won that.
No. But it's a valid thing if he was a manager who could still come in and guarantee instant success. He is not the manager to do that anymore, and he's not going to do it with his team. You see, Mourinho, he needs heavy backing, and he even got the heavy backing at Man United. And what did he win? He won a League Cup and Europa League. I would love those two trophies, but I just think at Spurs, he's not going to get the money he got at Man United, and he's still going to have to work on the restricted, on a restricted budget as well. So why do people expect this instant success? So add that into the fact that he's also a fading, declining manager who can't coach an attack to save his life right now. What makes you lot think that he's gonna be a success at Spurs, even if we give him that little bit of money to spend? What makes you think he's gonna be a success? I don't understand it.
Do you think you should have kept Pochettino?
100%. I always say this to my friends, that they'll say, oh yeah, Daniel Levy, I want him out. And I remember when it happened, I said what Daniel Levy did was unforgivable, and I still do. One of my mates was giving me stick, in fact, because I was like, you know what, in black and white, if you're looking at it from a chairman's point of view, it makes it. I can see why a chairman would want to get why a chairman like Daniel Levy would want to get rid of Pochettino. If you look at his results in black and white from January 2019 to November 2019, but the situation was different. The situation's different. This is a man who's been working on a shoestring budget for pretty much his whole time at Spurs, and he's overachieved for so many years. And then at the point in which he's at his lowest, and you actually need to sort of support him now and see him through the rough times, just like he saw you through the best of times, you discard him and you get rid of him, and then you mortgage our future on a manager who's fading, and you're paying him 15 million a year. This guy's earning 15 million pound a year. He's earning more than any of our players, and he can't even coach an attack. So we sold our soul to the devil for what? For what? I don't understand.
Dr. Viraj says, hi, Robbie. Even if tomorrow's North London derby is meaningless and has no consequences on the league table, it still be a close game for the bragging rights. Predicting a 2-1 win for Arsenal. He says London is red. Dano Jr. says, I'm not an Arsenal fan at all. The games is about winning trophies. So yes, I can talk about trophies. He says, I'm not saying he will be a success. I'm saying, who are you to demand success? You haven't won anything.
But that's what I don't get, though. I'm not demanding success. He picked us up from 14th. I'm not asking him to win a trophy now. I'm asking this guy to coach properly, Robbie. You see Arteta at your club. He stabilized your defense, and he's still getting the best out of Aubameyang. Lacazette has even started scoring now. Bukayo Saka's flying now. Even Pepe is getting in on the act. Our attackers are stagnating under this manager. You look at Everton, the Everton performance, and you look at the Bournemouth performance. We didn't even get a shot on target against Bournemouth. We're the first side in about 5 or 6 years to not even register a single shot on target against Bournemouth. And then at Everton, if not for a deflection, we're not winning that match because we didn't create anything. So please stop telling me that I'm demanding success. I'm not demanding success. I'm demanding that a manager actually coaches this team in a way that we're able to actually beat sides, because we can't do that properly at the moment.
All right, M. Rivera says 5 years and we didn't win anything. Would Arsenal have kept Poch if he'd have done that? Well, we kept Wenger. We kept Wenger for a long time. I have to say, I was really shocked when Tottenham got rid of Pochettino, because the reason why I was shocked, right, is that, all right, he wasn't having a great time. But I know a lot of Tottenham fans, and none of them was calling for his head. None of them were. Yeah, I mean, even with the Wenger thing, there was a lot of rumbling starting to, even in the early days, there were rumblings starting to kick up. There were some fans, we should get rid of him and stuff like that. And there was a big, sort of an early part of it, there was a massive, say like a 80% support for Wenger. but 20% that wanted him out. As time went on, that changed.
Yeah.
But speaking to Tottenham fans, I didn't really hear any of them saying get rid of Poch. They was all more talking about spending more money. Yeah. He's not been given anything. So when he got sacked, I have to say I was shocked. Then I saw Mourinho coming. I was like, all right, fair play to them. That's a big move to bring in. But I said right from day one, he's a guy that works off of getting loads of money.
That's what I'm saying.
We can't get that at Tottenham unless they're selling the club or something. I couldn't understand that appointment unless the club was being sold, you know. And yeah, I mean,
Robbie, it's desperation. It's desperation. They knew Levy's 14th. We've just gone into this new stadium. It's a cash cow, but he can't have his cash cow. He can't have the team that plays in his cash cow playing in Europa League or no Europe at all. So he thought he's gonna get rich quick and he's gonna sack the best manager that we've had in the Premier League era. Don't care what anyone tells me, he's the best manager we had in the Premier League era. So he thought, let's sack the best thing that's happened to this club since the inception of the Premier League, and let's bring in a fading manager who has the decorated CV in the hope that he can get us top 4 and he can get us back there. It was never going to work. It was never going to work. And I'll say this with my chest now. Pochettino currently, I don't care how he finished, Pochettino currently is a better manager than Mourinho. And I'll argue that to the death of me with any single fan here. He's a better manager currently than Jose Mourinho. And the fact of the matter is there are a lot of managers in world football that are better than Jose Mourinho. This guy is living off his CV, and I keep saying it, and people say, how dare you? How can you say this? You have eyes. You watch how we play. There is nothing. There is no cohesion. There is nothing, Robbie. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I hope he keeps it up tomorrow. Asher 2 says, hello, Robbie. Arsenal under Arteta is more together, and it feels like one team. But Tottenham under Mourinho feels like a team with less team spirit, fighting, and fighting each other, and that's not a good sign. Mourinho said that was a beautiful thing the other night. Lloris and Son fighting. I couldn't believe that. I'm sorry. I know what Mourinho's saying, and that does happen in football a lot. A lot of times they wait until they get into the dressing room, and you do kind of need that. You need players to dig out each other and that. But what surprised me with that one was Son fighting.
Yeah.
That surprised me. I was like, that shows me there's a lot of frustration there when I see Son fight. I don't know what you thought about that.
You know what? I thought, to be honest, I feel like for me, the situation was a bit of a non-starter, to be honest, because I feel like Lloris should be more vocal like that with our players on the pitch. When a player is not given 100% or leaves us open defensively, he has every right to shout at the player. So for me, and football players argue all the time. They argue all the time. So for me, it wasn't a thing. But I do agree with you. Sonny is not the type to bite back like that. He's someone that you speak to. He's a very understanding guy. So for him to charge back like that to the point where Lo Celso had to break him up, you're right. Maybe there might be some frustration there. But for me, generally, I think it's a non-starter, to be honest. But again, I think it's indicative frustration probably from his personal performance and frustration from the team's performance, because it's not just Mourinho. Some of those players have underperformed as well, including Son. So something's got to do.
Spurs is the word says going to be very interesting. Going to be a very interesting match. I don't rate how we've been playing recently, but hopefully Mourinho has a big game plan. Not too confident though. I do get the feeling that that's the one thing that Mourinho. I think these type of games like tomorrow kind of suit him. His back's against the wall. I've said to a few people that if you guys score first, I'm very worried, because he'll shut it down. He'll shut up shop. He'll make it tight. You know what I mean? If we score first, I can see us going on to win this game. But I think, you know, he has been in the past able to pull off some good performances against Arsenal, because he's kind of known how we play. But then this is a new manager he's facing under Arteta. This guy says Arsenal are going to slap up Tottenham. We've just won against Sheffield and Wolves and got robbed against Leicester. Tottenham couldn't score against Bournemouth. As I said, we are a team on the up.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are on it, but I think it's the North London derby. I think there's going to be it's not going to be as straightforward as that. Dano's back again. He says, I'm a Barca fan. I don't like Jose at all. So he's putting it on the table here. He says, I don't like Jose at all. Goes back to the days of Barca telling him about his attitude and him balling at the press. I dislike that man to the core. But Spurs ain't nobody. 0 titles. He's still telling you about the 0 titles, Dano.
You know what? Yeah, I genuinely don't get why people are refusing to acknowledge that he's underperforming at his job. Like, it's not just, as I said many times, it's not just his fault. It's a three-pronged issue. It's the players, it's the manager, it's the chairman. But fundamentally, he is being paid £15 million a year, and he can't even coach a side to get a shot on target against Bournemouth. And people want to keep telling me about trophies. Are these trophies going to get us that win on Sunday? Are these trophies going to go back in time and get us 3 points against Bournemouth? Those trophies are what he's done in the past. I'm dealing with the present. And what I'm seeing in the present shows me that this guy is not up to it and he's well out of his depth. Why do people keep telling you about titles? That's in the past. We're living in the present.
All right, Abe says, Robbie, Mourinho plays a style of football that cannot work in the modern day. He needs to change his style or Spurs will be a mid-table team for years to come, especially because of the stadium, he says. What team do you think you'll go with? Because Dyer's out, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm happy he's out.
He's been playing Dyer in defence.
He has. But it's a blessing in disguise, to be honest. I know he's had a couple decent games there, but I don't trust him at all at centre-back. He's got a mistake in him as well, but that can be said about all our centre-backs. I think the team I'd play, I think the back four is predictable. I would play, obviously, Lloris, back five, Lloris, Serge Aurier at our choice because we've got no one else. Davinson Sanchez to deal with Aubameyang's pace. Tobi Alderweireld, who you said that Louise was better than this season, by the way. Do you still think that? Do you still think that? Because I've been told.
Listen, I saw. All right, so Louise, and I remember you sending me stuff right after that Man City game. Right? As I said to you the other day, the stuff has dried up that you've been sending me. You know what I mean? Louise in a free. Listen. What is with Louise? Right? He can be. His passing range is really good. He can defend well, but he's got a mistake in him or two, and he's made some high-profile mistakes this season. But Alderweireld's not played well either. That game the other day when you lot played Sheffield United,
he didn't play though. He didn't start.
Did he play in that game?
He didn't play.
He was on in the second half though, wasn't it? When that second. No.
Jan Vertonghen came on towards the end.
Well, that shows you how good he's been that he can't even start. He's not even starting. He's managed to rate him.
You know what? It's because the manager's weird. He's got this weird sort of love. He's got this weird relationship.
Manager is playing a midfielder, Eric Dyer, instead of him.
Yeah, but Eric, but the thing is,
how can he be performing that great that you're telling me?
No. But what I'm saying is, I don't think Alderweireld's been good this year. But what I'm saying is, he's been better than Louise. He's been better than Louise. I don't even need to. We shouldn't even be discussing it because it's clear as day. He's been better than David Luiz.
He's been better.
Yeah, he's played better.
That's arguable as well because what's he ever won? Like the guy said before, he ain't won nothing.
He won the La Liga.
Who?
Alderweireld.
La Liga with who?
With Atletico Madrid. He won the La Liga.
Was he in the league? How many games did he play in that season?
He was playing right back. He wasn't a regular starter. But he won something though. You asked.
Harry says confident Arsenal can get a win, but never underestimate the power of our defense to throw a game. Yeah, listen,
exactly.
I know our defense is not the greatest. As I said, they've been all right though. I don't want to talk too soon about our defense, but they've been all right over recent games against some decent teams, man. Because remember, these are good. Our defending last week against Wolves. I think there was only really one. They only had one shot.
Traore had like two. There was like two.
Traore had that chance when he was through.
I agree.
That was the only clear-cut chance in the game when Traore was through. I think he should have scored Traore, but when he was through. Apart from that, and that's Jimenez, Jota, Traore, all these guys. So we've been defending all right. Sheffield United, very, as the tweet said, very difficult place to go to. Okay. Right. And we defended all right in that game. We did have some, those long throws and that were giving us a lot of problems. But
yeah,
we got out with a win. Leicester, we did get a bit. They did hammer us in that second half. But I can never be confident of our defence. Never be fully confident of the defence. But it's not been terrible. It's not been terrible over the past few games.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good signs for you lot. It's been good signs for you lot. I think I was really impressed with that Wolves performance as well. And I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed with your performance against Leicester in the first half. Like that guy was saying, I think the only sort of faith I have with us going into this match, as to why I think maybe we can sneak a draw, is the fact that we have better attacking players than you. I think we have better attacking players than you. We do, Robbie. Let's we have better attacking players. We have
Dano again. This is the same Dano. He keeps coming back at you. He says, you haven't won anything. So how do you know what underperforming is? You've never performed. The highlight of your life is touching the pitch in a final. That's Dano again.
This guy he's just waffling. He's just waffling now. So you're telling me that a team who are currently in 9th, a team who finished 4th the year before, finished 3rd the year before that, and finished 2nd the year before that, were not underperforming. You can't see a gradual decline.
You don't win though, like the man says. That you just said 2nd.
Yeah, of course, Robbie.
None of those you're holding up nothing for those, is it?
It's true, and that's
only the Audi Cup. The only thing.
I agree with that. We ain't won anything, but you can't use that as an excuse for me saying. You can't use that as an excuse for me not being happy with Mourinho. I can't be happy with a manager that can't. How can I be happy with a manager that can't beat Bournemouth? That doesn't make sense.
And the Bournemouth that's really struggling.
Yeah.
Let's just revisit what you just said then. So, better attack.
Yeah, we have got better attack.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. No, Harry Kane and Aubameyang. What is there a difference?
Yes, one is better than the other, Robbie.
No. Who won the Golden Boot last season?
Who played more games last season?
Who won the Golden Boot last season?
Who played more games last season?
Just answer the question.
No, you answer my question. Who played more games last season?
Who won the Golden Boot?
Who played more games last season?
Who's ahead in the Golden Boot running this season?
Who's played more games this season?
Right? So striker-wise, there's no difference as far as I'm concerned.
There is a difference.
Wait a minute. We've both got teams that have got a striker that's got a main striker guy up there that scores goals, right?
But one is better than the other, though, Robbie. I want you to say it. One is better than the other.
You know what? If you look at their careers, right? If you look at their careers, obviously Aubameyang's career has been going on longer. They're very comparable in that the fact is that this guy scores goals everywhere he's gone. He scores 20 plus goals every season, just like what Kane does. So what's the difference? There's no difference, but there's no. I'm not going to say any is better than the other one because
but Robbie,
penalties.
You know what? I get
a lot more penalties.
We need to stop saying this. I think Aubameyang's taken as many penalties as Harry Kane.
No, he hasn't. When they was comparing him and Vardy the other day, I think Vardy, who's ahead of him, has taken about 4 or 5 penalties. Right? Aubameyang's had 2.
Okay, and how many has Harry Kane had in the league? He had one against you and one against.
He's always taken. He's the penalty taker. Eddie. He's always taking them.
Yeah, but we haven't had many penalties this season.
He does everything.
I think we've had maybe max 2-3 penalties this season. That's what I'm trying to say. And the thing is, you keep saying
no difference in the man.
They score the same amount of goals, but like Harry Kane's. God, I don't even know why I'm explaining it because
who's the better striker this season? Who's the better striker this season?
Well, Aubameyang's performed better because he's played more games.
Who's the better striker last season?
He played more games, Robbie. What? Bloody hell! So, Robbie, let me ask you. Let me ask you this question. So,
we're dealing with recent times.
No, but Robbie. Okay. Hear me out.
Last season.
Hear me out, Robbie. Hear me out. So, Hazard he's been poor this season, and he's been injured for the majority of this season. By that logic, Nicolas Pepe, with his 9 goals and 9 assists, it's fair to say he's probably statistically outperformed Eden Hazard. Is Nicolas Pepe now better than Eden Hazard? No, he's not.
No, I think I don't think that's a good comparison.
Why is it not a good comparison?
We're looking at 2 strikers, yeah. Even if you look at them, even throughout their career, both of them, year in year out, score 20+ goals.
Yeah,
a season. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's no different. I'm not going to say even because they're kind of different types of strikers as well. But there's no, as far as goal scoring is concerned, there's no difference. I wouldn't be saying, right, let's get Harry Kane because he's an upgrade on Aubameyang. If Harry Kane left you lot and you got Aubameyang, he'd score goals for you.
He would score goals.
Really, in him.
Yeah, but Robbie, because they would score goals because both of them are world-class strikers. But there is one striker who's better than the other, though.
No, he's not better. He's not better.
Aubameyang can't pass like Harry Kane. He ain't got a weaker foot as good as Harry Kane.
He can't pass like Harry Kane. Do you know what?
Tell me he can. Tell me he can. That Aubameyang can pass a ball like Harry Kane. Can he? And he can't score. Harry Kane scores better goals than Aubameyang as well. Left foot. Right. There you go then. So then
left foot, right foot.
But Harry Kane's weaker foot is better. So what I'm trying to say to you now is, if they both score goals, but one is a way better sort of all-round player, how does that mean they're on the same level? It means
at the end of the season, yeah. At the end of the season, right? When you look at the goal scoring thing, and they're handing out the golden boot, or they're going through the goal scorers for the season, they don't look on it and say, "Oh, Harry Kane scored 17, but Aubameyang scored 22, but Harry Kane scored 4 screamers from outside the box." God, so those count double or something like that. It's goals. Does it matter?
Yes,
goals,
Robbie. It does matter when we're comparing the two. They are both world-class strikers. So in the
this is the problem with Tottenham. This is the problem with you lot. You'll be doing things like, "Oh, he scores better goals." They're both.
He scores better goals. He's a better Robbie. I'm saying that he has an ability to score goals that Aubameyang can't. That's why I'm saying he's better than Aubameyang.
No. I've seen Harry Kane, like for instance, the goal that he curled in that time against us. Great goal. But then I've seen many a times Aubameyang score similar goals, curling goals.
From that angle, never. You're lying.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
From that angle. Oh, come on, Robbie. You're just you know what? We're not gonna get anywhere.
And to make things worse, right? Just to show you that what, in my opinion, I think at the moment he's better than Harry Kane, actually. Right? The man scoring his goals, not even playing in his favourite position, down the middle. He's playing on the wing. Whereas with Harry Kane, he gets to play where he wants.
No, he doesn't, though. He doesn't get to play where he wants because we can't create chances, Robbie. The guy has to play. The guy's basically playing defensive midfield for us right now. So I don't get how he gets to do what he wants. He doesn't.
Your best
player. We can't get the best of our.
There's been a lot of games this season, right, where he's been literally playing as a left back. Yeah, he's literally been playing as a left back, Aubameyang, because of all the tracking back he has to do on that left hand side. And not only that, you could argue that over the last few years, yeah, he's been playing in a worse team. He's been playing in a worse team than your team over the last few years. And still, from the minute that guy came in, he's been scoring goals.
Yeah, because
there's no difference. There's no difference, man.
There is. But you know what? There is a difference, but we can agree to disagree. So that's Aubameyang and Kane. Let's just, for the sake of the argument, let's just say that they're level.
All right.
I don't agree with it, but let's just say that they're level. Yeah, cool. So that's one to the side. And then we got Son Heung-min. Who in your team is better than Son? As a secondary attacker, who in your team is better?
This season?
No, I don't care about this season. In general, even this season, who's better? Don't tell me Saka as well. Don't tell me Saka.
Pepe's been better. Pepe's been better.
Then Son.
This season, he's been better, yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Let me see what
Nicolas Pepe has been better than Son Heung-min this season. Robbie,
I need to get the stats.
I'm really gonna say that with your chest.
Bear with me, everybody. Let me get.
You're gonna say that with your chest. Oh my God! I don't even need to look at the stats. I just know I test that one's been better than the other. Come on,
been that great. Has Son been that great this season?
He's not been at his best, but he's still put up numbers.
He's done this. What's been so special about him this season?
He's been better than Pepe, Robbie. He's won us matches. What? What are you on about?
Pepe. So what
are you on about? Look, Robbie, I'm even getting a message from Expressions, and he said,
that's really unbiased.
Robbie, that Aubameyang can't even play striker at his own club on the wing with Eddie Nketiah taking his position. And he said that you're sniffing, and I think you are. You just said that Pepe. You just said Pepe's been better than Son this year. Pepe can't even get into your team. What? He can't even bench Nketiah and Saka. How is he better than Son?
Despite him not even been playing as many games as Son, right? I think, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of difference in it, in my opinion.
Oh my God. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. I can't believe it.
There's not a lot of difference in it this season. I mean, I do rate Son, yeah, and I'm not, you know.
No, I don't. No, Robbie, you have to.
So this season, Son scored 9 goals. Pepe scored 6. Yeah.
Yep.
And
how many penalties?
Son's had 10 assists. This is just in the Premier League, by the way. Premier League, yeah.
Yeah.
Son's had 10 assists, and Pepe's had 6 assists, right? But Son has played 26 games, right? Right, starting all of those games, literally, hasn't he? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me see how many Pepe scored. Started, because he was barely even getting a chance to play at the start of it under Emery.
Robbie, you know what's crazy? I can't believe that you're actually trying to justify a comparison between the two. Robbie, you have eyes. If I gave you Son or Pepe right now, there is no way on earth you're choosing Pepe. You've seen both this season play. One has clearly been better than the other. Anyone who knows me knows that I've even given Son some criticism this season because I don't think he's been at his normal level. But statistically, he's outperformed Pepe this season. And in terms of performances, he's been way better than Pepe. Way better than Pepe. I can't believe we're having this discussion.
But literally all of the performances, half of those performances have been off the bench. All right, I'll give you that. Son's better this season, but not a lot better. What I'm trying to argue is
better, Robbie. He's way better. Man City, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Champions League. Like he's done infinitely more than Pepe this season. There is no comparison. There's no comparison.
And let's remember, and let's have this right. This is Pepe's first season.
Yeah, I agree.
First. And in Son's first season, he didn't light it up like this either.
I agree.
It took him a long time to get going, didn't it?
Yeah.
Am I being real now? It took him a long time.
It did.
All right, who's your other player now?
So those two, I think Steven Bergwijn's better than Nketiah or whoever you want to play out wide. I don't know.
Saka's
a left back.
Bergwijn and Saka, we could compare.
Bergwijn and Saka. Oh, Saka's
Bergwijn and Lacazette. But more if you're putting it as a wide player, let's compare him to Saka. I'm sorry, Bergwijn cannot talk to Saka right now. Saka's one of the best young players in this country. Mm-hmm. And then even then, if we didn't even go with Saka, we could talk about somebody like a Martinelli. Bergwijn can't talk to Martinelli. Can he talk
Can
he talk to Martinelli?
I think he can. Steven Bergwijn statistically he's done quite well for Spurs. Bear in mind, he's only played like 7. He's only played like 7 or 8 league games. He's got 3 goals. And let's not forget, you want to talk about Martinelli. You want to talk about stats. Let's talk about Dele Alli in the league. Ali can't even start in our club right now, and he's got 9 Premier League goals and around 4 Premier League assists. That's more than like
you, man. All right, and back on your argument, why is he not playing?
Because he's injured. He's injured. Dele Alli's injured.
Our attack is not better than our attack. There's no. As I said right at the start of it, and I proved there's no difference.
Robbie, let me give you the names. So you got.
Both teams have got good attacks. Yeah, both teams.
Our attack is better.
No, it's not. It's not better. It's not better.
Yes. Robbie, you've got Aubameyang.
Golden Boot,
Lacazette. Yeah, Lacazette. So that's 4. Huh? That's 4. So you got Aubameyang.
No. We got 5.
Okay, right? Who's the 5th?
We got Lacazette.
Yeah,
not the greatest of the season, but we got Lacazette,
Martinelli,
Pepe, Saka, and Martinelli.
Okay, so now let me name our 5. So we got Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, Stephen Bergwijn, Lucas Moura, who's been pants this season, and Dele Alli. So you think
you forgot one. You forgot one. You forgot one player, man.
Who, Lamella?
No, Parrot.
Come on. Come on. I can't believe we're having this discussion.
That's your player. Parrot. Listen, man, you man can't talk. Listen, there's no difference, man.
There is. Our attack is better.
I'm not having it, man. Okay. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
You don't need to have it, Robbie. Let's see at the end of the season who's amassed more goals, our attack or your attack, even with Harry Kane's injury. Let's see.
And the thing is about your team, you're completely reliant upon Harry Kane. I think we've been dependent on this season. We have been dependent this season on the goals of Aubameyang, but I think we can do better without him than if if he weren't in the team, we would do better than what you guys would do. Because I remember when he was missing for 3 games. When he was missing for 3 games, Martinelli came in and scored in those games. He's a top player.
That's 3 games, Robbie. That's 3 games. That's not the whole season. So, Robbie, Arsenal have scored 50 goals, yeah? So you lot have scored 50 goals this season. And Aubameyang has scored, what, 20? 20.
Yeah, he's been the main.
That's 2 out of 5. So that's 2 out of 5.
He's the main guy. He's the main.
He scored 40% of your goals this season. He scored 40% of your goals this season, but you think that if he was injured for the period Harry Kane was injured, you'd cope with Martinelli. I'm not having that. You wouldn't cope with Martinelli.
Martinelli's a very.
If Aubameyang, Robbie, let me tell you this: if Aubameyang was injured at the same period Harry Kane was in January, you'd be closer to relegation than you would be to us. That's a fact. That's a fact.
We would have found a style to play, and as I said, Martinelli would have come in. Right, we would have switched it up. Martinelli, he's done brilliant since he's come in. It's a shame that he's injured, man, and we can't unleash him on you tomorrow.
Yeah, he has done well, but listen,
you've got no young player. You've got no young player in your team, or emerging young players like what we've got when it comes to those attacking positions. Saka's been one of the best in the league.
Yeah, I like Saka. I think he's a really good talent. I really like Saka.
So that's what I'm saying. There's no real difference in attack.
There is. Ours is better. Ours is better. Ours is better. Show it however you want to do it. Ours is better. Ours is better. It's that simple.
Like Dr. Vira says there, rubbish. Martinelli has more goals and potential than Bergwijn.
What's that based on?
He played more games than Bergwijn, to be fair. But I'm sorry. Bergwijn.
I'm gonna get up the stats now because this is ridiculous. And the thing is, you can tell I'm on an Arsenal platform because the responses I'm seeing, like these Arsenal fans are so deluded as well. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. One sec. Martinelli, 1 second. I'm going to get this up now. So Gabriel Martinelli. So he's played. So Stephen Bergwijn.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So 1 sec. So Martinelli's played 14 matches. He scored 3 goals, yeah? So this is boy wonder. He's done so much better than Stephen.
No. Hold on, wait a minute. When you're reading those stats, you've got to read them right because how many of the games has he started? Those 14 games that he's played in the Premier League, the majority of them have just been from the bench. The only 3 I think that he started were those 3 that he played when Aubameyang was out.
Yeah. Okay. And Stephen Bergwijn has 10 appearances, 3 goals. So how exactly is
if they were doing it, if you went and asked any neutral fan and said to them this season, who's been the better player, Bergwijn or Martinelli, they'd probably first of all laugh at you for even asking the question, right? And then they'd say Martinelli. It's Martinelli.
But Robbie, I'm not trying to say that.
Let me just go back to how we started this argument, right? I said to you, there's no difference in the attack.
There is.
You have a very good attack. We have a very good attack. It's end of.
We have a better attack, though.
No, you don't.
We have a better attack. I've seen someone in the comments saying Mourinho's your manager. Someone's commented, Mourinho's your manager, and you're talking about better attacks. That man has serious problems. I know he has serious problems. That's the point. We have a better attack, and we can't score goals. That is the point.
Luke says Kane's so good he barely touched the ball against a relegation-threatened team, Bournemouth.
And how is that down to Harry Kane? That's down to how the manager sets up the team.
Listen. As I said, we've been performing.
Arsenal fans,
majority of this season, yeah. for the majority of this season, remember we've had 3 managers this season, right? We've had some horrible performances. Horrible.
So
and the one man, like you just said, who scored nearly all of our goals, yeah? No matter how badly we're playing. If he was playing, if Aubameyang was playing for Liverpool, City, those sort of teams, he'd probably be like on a 35 plus goals now. And he hasn't just done it this season. He did it last season in, again, a very poor Arsenal team that finished 6th. He got the golden boot. But the first season he turned up, right, from January to the end of the season, he scored what I think is about 14, 15 goals. The guy is a world-class striker. There's no difference between, according to you, Harry Kane is better because he scores more beautiful goals.
No, that's not what I said. See, now you're twisting. Now you're twisting.
Well, that's what you said.
I said no. I said Harry Kane is better because he can score as much as Aubameyang, and he's a better all-round player. He's a better passer, better shooter, better finisher. He's better all round.
No, I don't.
It's not a disrespect for me to say Harry Kane's better than Aubameyang. One striker is simply better than the other. It's not a disrespect. They're both world-class strikers.
It's disrespectful. You are.
It's not disrespectful.
TNT says big game tomorrow, North London derby. Come on, Arsenal. It is a massive game. No matter what's going on, no matter
it's a meaningless game. though. Let's be real. It's a massive game. It's a massive game because it's a derby. But in the grand scheme of things,
all right. Let me ask you this, right? Because this is another thing you sent me. You've been sending me a lot of things.
Yeah. Go on.
Let me get it right. You were sending me a lot of things. Right up. Yeah. When the lockdown came back, right? Every minute, I look at my phone. Oh, Tobi. Louise, that. Link to that. And then over the past few weeks, I'm like, yo, what? Tobi, man. Tobi disappeared. I can't see Tobi again. Tobi gone. Right? Okay. Now, one of the things that you sent me the other day was what's his name again? He used to play your winger.
Trippier.
Trippier, yeah. I forget the boy in the end. Trippier, yeah. Right. Saying and repeating the words that I think that Dele Alli's used before, that he thinks it's a bigger game when Tottenham play Chelsea than the North London derby, Tottenham Arsenal. Again, who the hell do these guys? I mean, when you sent me and I'm listening to it, right, I'm like, if I could stand there and talk to that Trippier, I'd be like, who the hell do you lot think you are? You think playing Chelsea, you could. There was one season, the one season when you lot were going for the title, and Chelsea stopped you from getting that title, right? Because obviously you've got big rivalry. Chelsea don't like you guys. I'm like, now all of a sudden you think you're on that level now where
that's not what he said.
We're not competing with Arsenal no more.
That's not what he said.
What did he win? No,
because you wanna attack him now. So Kieran Trippier joined. Him and Ali joined Spurs in summer 2015. Yeah, so they joined Spurs in summer 2015. So in that period from 2015 to 2019, which it's not. He's not saying that the Chelsea match means more to Spurs than Arsenal. He's saying that simply the Chelsea matches were fiercer than the Arsenal games because there was more often than not there was more at stake playing Chelsea than there was playing Arsenal. Is that an inaccurate statement to make? Let's be honest.
And they run up with Moat, right? Carrying on like there's some big shot, right?
I don't think that's what you meant.
In up there for titles and all them thing there. There's one season you was going for the title. One.
Okay.
The one when you lost it, even we came above you that season. Even the man's got the cheek to be saying that, and we came above you that season. And I'm looking on that thing that you sent me, and I'm like, another one. And with that sort of attitude, I mean, I'm like, surely your fans don't agree with that. That the Chelsea game's a bigger game than the North London derby.
No, I think again, I think all he's talking about is the actual contest between the two sides. I don't think they're saying it's bigger, but in terms of the rivalry that we have with Chelsea, it's definitely intensified in the last 10 years. It used to be Arsenal here and Chelsea here in the last 10 years, it's still Arsenal here because we still hate your guts. But Chelsea have come up. Chelsea are like here because we hate them both as much now. So he has every right.
Trying to carry on, like back in the day when we had that big rivalry with Man United, where basically, and that's that sort of rivalry now that exists between Liverpool and Man City, where basically the winner of that game has got a good chance of winning the title, right? And when we had that rivalry, the winner with Man United, between us and Man United, that like gave them the edge on the title. What title you lot got the edge on when you beat Chelsea? Why is that so big for Trippier and Ali? What is it then you're going on to win? Because
as I said, that game, the battle at the bridge or whatever they call it, Chelsea think
but it's
not just one game though. It's not just one game though, Robbie.
Battle at the bridge, you got slapped.
No, we drew 2-2, and then the season after that, when we went to Stamford Bridge under Conte, we were the only two unbeaten sides in the league. They beat us in November, and then in January we end Conte's unbeaten run, and then in that same season we played them in the FA Cup final. Fair enough, we lost 4-2. But what I'm trying to say to you is we've played Chelsea so much in the past in that period where Ali and Trippier have been at the club, so they have every right to say that the rivalry is just as big as Arsenal's. They have every right to say that. They have every right to say that.
That's the problem. You know what I mean? As I said, if it was a title decider every time you played each other, I'd understand it. But
and let's not forget, they knocked us out in the semi-finals of the cup last year as well. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but there have been a lot of things I've done.
But that's my point. It's not to say that the game means more than the derby. The North London derby is without a doubt the most important fixture in the calendar. But what we're saying is that Chelsea rivalry is almost just as fierce, if not equally as fierce. It's just there. It's not to say that it's better than the Arsenal one, but it's there. It's fierce.
All right. Well, tomorrow, no matter what happens, it's I don't know about you, but I can never really enjoy that game until it's over because it's
agreed.
Too much at stake, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then my phone will be ringing and you'll be on it, right? And so, and you plus about another 10 man, you know what I mean? And it's a hard day we lose. And we haven't had a great record. We did get the draw last year. We missed that last minute penalty. I know you guys are not playing well, but as I said, even if you guys are not playing well, what I would agree with you do have a very good attack, right? I'm not saying it's better, but you do have a very good attack. And I'd say if you look at the teams, they're very even in personnel. I obviously we're playing, I think, better at the moment. But predictions. Let's get into the predictions. What do you think the score's going to be?
I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I'm going to stick with it. I think it's going to end 2-2. I think Mourinho is definitely going to set up to contain you lot. And I think our players who are quality or world class in their own right will help us get some goals. But I can't trust that defense to keep a clean sheet and keep the likes of Aubameyang and Saka at bay. So I'm going to go for 2-2. I think Mourinho has too much pride to lose tomorrow's game. I think it's a huge game for him. It means more to him than it does to Arteta. 100%.
Oh, no. I don't think that's true because I think Arteta, remember, Arteta used to play for Arsenal. He's played in these games, so he knows what it's all about as well. So
no, not in that respect. I meant as in like I think if you had to pick which manager needs to win more, it's Mourinho. I think Arteta could draw or lose tomorrow, and I think his reputation would still be relatively intact. I think Mourinho has to get a result tomorrow or has to win over the fans in some shape or form.
Oh yeah, I hear you on this. Yeah, so I hear you on that one because to win over the fans, there's nothing to win over your own fans than to win the North London derby.
Yeah.
Unless you're Trippier, that is. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go for Arsenal win. I think it'll be a really tough game. I think it'll be a really, really tough game. I think it'll be a really, really close game, but I think we're gonna nick it 2-1.
Okay. Who's gonna score?
Aubameyang.
Brace. He always scores games.
You know what? Aubameyang, and I've got I fancy Lacazette tomorrow. He will play Lacazette, and Nketiah is out, obviously suspended tomorrow. So I do think that Arsenal will stick with the more or less the same team that played against Wolves and Leicester, which is with the 3 at the back and 2 wing backs. Cedric may come back into it, maybe for Bellerin.
Do you worry you've got anything? Do you worry that with Nketiah now suspended and with Martinelli injured, do you worry that you've not got anything up top in that sort of central position? Because obviously you see Lacazette, sometimes he fades out of games for whatever reason.
He's not had a great season, Lacazette. But remember, we can put Aubameyang down the middle and put Pepe on the right and Saka on the left as well.
Pepe.
We've got options, boss. And you know what? Like how you be, please, I'll start Pepe tomorrow. I know he's going to do anyhow, you know. I just got a feeling for Pepe tomorrow as well. You know what I mean? He didn't play against Wolves. His missus had a baby. He didn't play against Leicester. He's fresh for this game. The other thing as well that I think worked slightly in our advantage, I couldn't understand. Again, it's the madness of football.
Yeah.
How you lot had to play on a Thursday? We've had a couple of extra days rest.
Exactly.
Then on a Tuesday, will that help with the amount of games that we've been having? So many games, you know, there were some of your players like Sissoko, I think is a good player, very important player in those type of games. You might be a bit tired, I don't know. That's why I'm giving us the edge. I think, I don't know if I'd have been as confident if all your fans would have been there, because that then gets that extra out of your players when you're playing at home. So, but I think, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be, because it's a North London derby.
Yeah.
Most North London derbies are always good and they're always hard to call. But listen, Toby, thank you very much for coming on today. Really appreciate it. Man. I'll talk to you probably, if we win, I'll ring you tomorrow.
I won't answer it.
If we lose, I'll talk to you in about 3 weeks' time. You know what I mean? But no, respect, man. Thank you very much, Toby. And tell everybody where they can catch you before you go.
Yeah, so you can on Twitter, you can catch me. I'm part of like one of the co-hosts for a football podcast called the Tap In Football Podcast. So you can find me there, or you can find me in another sort of mini sort of Spurs page that I run with my friend called Spurs Unfiltered as well. So Tap In Football or Spurs Unfiltered. You can find me at either or on Twitter.
Okay, thank you very much, Toby, and thanks to everybody. Enjoy the North London derby tomorrow. Don't forget to check us out in our watch along. It should be interesting. And let's hope we get a win.